All right, let's continue to part 2 of stoichiometry and limiting reagents. In the previous video, part 1, we saw that the limiting reagent is sodium hydroxide because for every 1 mole of copper sulfate, we need 2 moles of sodium hydroxide based on the stoichiometry, the balanced equation here. There's coefficients 1 to 2. We saw that we need 0.01125 moles of NaOH. However, we only have 0.00875. So let me just label these. This was the NaOH, and this is the copper sulfate. So to proceed to find how much copper hydroxide I can possibly make, I need to use the number of moles of sodium hydroxide because I'm going to run out of sodium hydroxide before I run out of copper sulfate. So here it's the typical stoichiometry procedure. What I need to see is the ratio between sodium hydroxide and my product, copper to hydroxide. It's 2 to 1. So for every 2 moles of NaOH, I make 1 mole of copper hydroxide. So I don't have 2 moles, I have 0.00875, and I need to divide this by 2. And that gives me 0.004375 moles that I can make of copper hydroxide. Now, we need to use another equation. Whenever you want to find mass in chemistry, you use the following equation, which is moles is equal to mass over mR. The mR can be found by adding all the atomic masses of the elements in your formula. For our example, copper hydroxide. And now we want to find mass, so we rearrange the equation, N times mR. So we have the moles from above, 0.004375 moles multiplied by the molar mass, which I had calculated earlier, 97.561 grams per mole. Again, the atomic and the mass number you find on the periodic table is in grams per mole. You multiply these two numbers and you find 0.4268 grams. So this is the whole procedure. In a question where they give you values for both reactants, you first need to find which is the limiting reagent, which will run out first. And after that, you carry on with a normal procedure to find the moles, the possible moles that you could make of the product, which is the following. Thank you very much for listening. This has been Stoichiometry, Limiting Reagents.